So Mary, when you're ready to kick them off,
Okay.
did you want to do a screen share like you've done before, or what works for you?
Yeah, I can do a screen share.
And we all have it, whatever's easiest for you.
Right.
So can you guys see the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. March 8th, 2021 minutes. A Zoom teleconference meeting called to order by Peter Nielsen at 7 p.m. Board members present: Peter Nielsen, Scott Jones, Rhonda Jones, Terry Vaughn, John Cates, and Mary Menard, village clerk. Residents Robin and Jolyn Martinez also present. Clerk read the minutes of February 8, 2021. One amendment. Rhonda made a motion to approve as amended and seconded by Scott, approved by the board. Financial review for March 2021 bills to be paid. Terry made a motion to approve, seconded by John, approved by the board. Old business. Ms. Casey Lawrence, Director of Sunshine Law Compliance and Records Management. Sunshine Law complaint filed online regarding Village of Oakwood, especially concerning the resurfacing of barns. Ms. Lawrence is still trying to contact a board member. We corrected some information she had, and then Ms. Lawrence will talk with the state's attorney. Nuisance violation letters, clerk to send the following: 400 North Inglewood, trash; 400 Northeast Martin, trash; 5701 North Oak Traffic Way, trash, and they are P.O. Box. Peter, Mary, and Scott will get the new accounts at Community America open this month. Received final invoice for new street signs to replace stolen street signs at 3 intersections replaced. Speed bumps to slow down, cut through traffic, and resurfacing of Barnes Avenue, leave on until spring. New business, received City of Gladstone invoice for emergency services, approved. Reserved Clay County Board of Election Commissioners invoice, approved. MOPR member webinar, March 26, 2021. The topics are recent issues with the Missouri Open Records Act and the Missouri Human Rights Act. Next door, should a village account be created? Determine if there is need and capability to utilize this platform to communicate with residents in addition to the village website. After discussion, board said no. Peter, Josh, and Ryan found a signpost which would be a good place for a speed bump. Also, vegetation cleared back on Northeast Poplar where new speed bump and sign can be installed. Northeast Martin Boulevard, where it splits with Northeast Lake Drive, had brush that was not addressed for many years and allowed to grow in the street. It was cleared back to the street edge. Meeting adjourned at 7:26 p.m.
Do we have any amendments as the minutes have been read? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes as read?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, you have to say your name.
Ryan Hicks makes a motion.
And a second?
I'll make the second, Terry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, minutes approved. Okay, next we have our financial review. So if you want to open up the March 21 financials.
Okay. All righty, can you see that?
Yes, thank you. See, normal income, we got a franchise fee from Evergy. We got some Clay County property tax money. Normal sales tax revenue. Okay, expenses for last month. Our normal trash, website, streetlights, village clerk. We had a snow removal bill that got paid, and we paid for fire and ambulance that we approved. And then, as said, we opened the new Community America account.
So Peter, have we paid? Does that have Mankey paid? Was that last month and I missed it?
Yes, he's all taken care of.
Okay.
For services provided. Okay, so bills for this month. The normal three: waste, website, lights, for clerk. And then Mary sent out the email about getting checks to go with the new Community America account. And then we already approved the Clay County elections, but it will not clear our checking account until it was like April 1st. So that's why we didn't see it as expenses for this month. So it's previously been approved, just didn't, they didn't deposit the check to hit our account until April. And then you'll see the current balances, and then you'll see the new balances for Community America. So we open the accounts. So this is how we opened up the accounts to make up the 2,800. Okay, any questions about the financial statement and bills to be paid?
I move we pay the bills.
That's Scott,
I'll second.
and that's Terry.
And Terry seconded, yes.
Okay, all in favor of approving the bills to be paid and the financial statement, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, our financial statement's approved. Okay, back to our agenda. So, Mary, is there anything else from your conversation with Ms. Casey Lawrence that you want to?
Well, so I called her, and of course we were talking about the elections, and she said, well, she thought maybe she should wait and see what the election results were. And so their election was, they had, I think, 3 people on the ballot for 2 open positions, which kind of surprised me because, it seems to be hard to get a hold of anybody on their board. But the 2 members who ended up winning those positions was Dan Rushka and Dee Lowe. And I thought it was interesting that Dee Lowe won with 41 votes. And then the person who came in third had I can't remember now, but it wasn't that, the other person was not that far behind Dan. So it was pretty interesting. So I'm going to call her again, and then to talk about, this new person on the board, and hopefully this new person is going to be somebody who's actually, going to make sure that, the meetings are out there and publicized, and maybe somebody that we can work with. I was just wondering, do any of you know Dee Lowe? Just out of curiosity's sake.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe by face, but not by name.
Gotcha.
And you guys, hold on a quick second. I need to change the battery in my headset.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Peter, do you want to send an email inviting Rushka?
Well, so the question I had that I guess I need you guys to give me some input on is, I was driving with Susan and Elizabeth today and asking them whether they thought Barnes needed resurfacing. I mean, it's definitely patchy in spots, and I kind of think it's kind of cracking and spider webbing, but that's been the big conversation. I really should get your guys' opinion as to whether we need to talk about resurfacing or we can put it off for another season. So it'll probably take kind of driving, looking at it, maybe even walking it to see what you guys think.
Well, I've driven it a couple of times in the last week or so. To be honest, I haven't seen any bad spots. So I've been, I wouldn't mind putting it off for a year unless somebody sees something different than I do.
Okay, let's go through. Ryan, what's your thoughts?
We walked Jack through there quite a bit, and I didn't see anything really, really bad, but I haven't been any farther than like Donovan.
Okay, and Scott? Scott, you there? Sounds like.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get off mute. Yeah, it can wait a year.
Okay, and John, you feel the same?
Yeah, I think it could wait a year. It's not
Okay.
bad in front of our house, and I've seen worse. for sure.
Okay. So if you guys see anywhere that looks like we need to take care of it this year, it's just when I was walking outside the spider webs and I thought, should we be proactive? But if we don't need to be, and with your opinion, thank you, that holding off works. So with that said, is there any reason that we actually need to talk to them at this point?
Oh, with the village?
Yeah.
No. Mary, did you think it was a good idea that Peter invited into the meeting?
Well, yes, and here's why. If they've got, I mean, I would send, if it were me, I would send an email to their clerk, Miss Rushka, and I would say, you know, I realize you guys just had, you know, your elections and you have a new board member, and, you know, could you send me, you know, the names and the contact information, and has anything changed, you know, on the board, and you know, say we'd love it to have the board members attend the main meeting so that we could meet them and, you know, see if there's any outstanding issues that anyone wants to talk about. If it were me, I'd want to set something up to talk about, like the snow plowing for next year and the road for next year. But I'd probably phrase it more as, you know, hey, let's get to know each other. You've got a new board member, and maybe we can get some communication going.
Well,
I like that idea. Like a congratulatory email and invitation.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Peter, but
Well, I'm okay with talking to him. Just want to make sure we've got the right topics. And I guess if it's something that we're not looking to address right now because it's not a problem, then it makes it easier to say we want to talk about shared issues.
Right.
well, yeah, because these issues are going to come up sometime. Like Burns is going to come up maybe again next year. So,
And one of the other things that we've been wanting to talk to them about is the trash trucks. Okay, so I can compose a
Hey, Peter?
email. Yes, sir.
So Dan has already ruled on this in his opinion. Why do you think he's going to change? He says we own barns.
I'm hoping he will bring it before their board and see what they say.
Yeah, because he's got a new board member. And a new board member with some support from the community. And how do we know that still
Okay, I guess we can try, but I'm not very optimistic about that.
well, I don't think anybody's optimistic about it, Scott. I'm not, but I think it should be. I think it should be tried.
I don't disagree.
Okay, so Mary, I did have a question kind of from a follow-on last time. When they said they were going to connect to their state attorney, they still don't have a good way for people to attend meetings, communicate with them, find out what's going on.
Right. So I figured if we use this as an open invitation and we see what kind of a reply we get, you know, and we could make it both ways. We could say, you know, we'd love to come to our May meeting. We could go to your May meeting if somebody would be willing to do that. I don't know, but at least then again, we have more information.
So hey, Ryan, just to bring you up to speed, Dan Roca says they don't own any barns we do, so they don't want to pay for half of plowing. They don't want to pay to recycle or to resurface it or anything. Even all those houses that have driveways touching barns. So that was what's transpired, and that's why we're talking about it.
And the additional part of that is the ordinance that they had for years and years and years that kind of said they would share that responsibility. They had to renew or at least let us know beforehand to cancel it. And they sent us an email. Their own ordinance says they had to send us a letter. they sent us an email like the day before whatever their expiration date was. And we said, your own ordinance says you got to send us a letter. An email doesn't work. We may not have got it. We didn't even talk about it. So they changed their ordinance, said that they did not renew that, but we completely disagree with the method they used because they didn't even follow their own rules.
Have we looked at the Clay County plat?
Yeah, so for Barnes and for the easement, that's Village of Oaks.
For the whole thing?
Yes.
Huh.
So part of what the yard that all the folks on the north side of Barnes, it's actually village property that they take care of. Well, it's easement that, like our residents, they have to take care of it to the curb. So if we wanted to let some fiber company put fiber in that easement, we could, and they couldn't say boo about it.
Right. So they need to drive through their backyard into the woodland.
Oh. I like that, Ryan.
I think if we went back over the years, we could probably get some legal precedent of the shared, shared costs that we've done for how many years? I know they were doing it 20 years ago when we were discussing it.
Since 52 anyway.
See, and I think the issue is that we've got to get to these other board members, because I think we know from talking to other people that have been on the board that they didn't even really agree with this. And so that's why I'm saying I think we just need to open a door to inviting all of the board members one way or another. And,
And Ryan, what's going on now is, I mean, I talked to the board members over there at the village picnic and whatnot, and they're like, we don't want to mess with this anymore. Dan takes care of everything. We're just going to do what he says because we don't want to mess with it. So Dan's like, go pound sand, and everybody else is like, well, whatever Dan says. They don't even meet.
Yeah,
which is technically illegal. So.
And we tried to meet with them, like, what was it, Terry, 3 or 4 times before COVID, and they canceled their meetings, didn't let us know.
It was more than that.
So there's a history there.
Yeah. But like I said, now they have a new board member. He got a lot of votes. And to get that many votes, you have to be out talking to people. And we do know that some of the residents are not happy with what's going on. So I'm just saying, it wouldn't hurt to open the door and see, find out what's going on.
I know quite a few people in that other village. I may reach out to them just a little bit and kind of chat.
Yeah, I mean, he got 41 votes. To his
Okay, so are we good on this topic? Because I'd like to move on, if that's okay. Nuisance violation letter. So as we see that they were sent out, and for you guys who are over there, does it look better?
400 Northeast Englewood is good.
Okay, but I got that letter back. That's the letter that came back.
So
Well, he did it on his own then.
He did it. He was over there for 2 days and bagged up all that trash and dug around in the trees and everything. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Did he have does he have a different address or a PO box? Do we know? Know his name?
Chris Williams.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You know what? That's the wrong one. There's a mistake on the agenda. It should say that and return 3/22/21. That was 400 Northeast Mountain Martin.
That's right next to Ryan.
That's Dwayne. Smith.
Yeah, it said Dwayne. That was the name on the letter. I'm trying to find, I can't find where I put that letter.
So Ryan, does he have a better address to use for
don't
correspondence
know.
when you sent to him?
I can find out. So,
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, that's the wrong, I just saw 400 and I put it in the wrong one. This
I know
was,
I know Antonio was over there yesterday mowing and cleaning up and trimmed all the bushes out along North Oak and picked up a bunch of trash. I'll go over there and look and see what all he did.
And you just want to send us an email, what you find?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to scoot down since we're talking about it for new business. So Mary, can you tell us what that new business is for 400 Northeast Martin?
I got an email from Rhonda that said she felt like the appearance of the house was affecting property values because of the ripped paper in the windows, that the house is being used as storage, not being lived in. Is that correct?
I would imagine it's not being lived in, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
So I don't know if you guys have looked, but it looks like somebody put paper over the windows and it's all slashed and torn. It looks like a spook house almost.
Okay, because I haven't seen that, but I'm usually, I keep an eye on it.
You look at the windows, the upper windows and the side windows. Now, I don't know what kind of precedence we have from an ordinance of, but it's almost like it looks really bad. So, I don't know if we can send them a letter. I don't know if we can do anything about it, but it looks really bad. It's like, so one of them's got like blinds that look like somebody slashed with a knife that are just hanging loose. All the other windows had paper over them that's torn. It looks terrible. And the house is an eyesore anyway. It's like, dude, can you put up new paper or window coverings or something? I don't know if that's too presumptive or stepping over our bounds, but it looks really bad.
So Ryan, were you going to try and get a hold of somebody over there, or just kind of see what they've done?
Yeah, I'll talk to Antonio, because he's Dwayne's kind of gardener, helper, whatever. So I'll talk to him and see if I can get an address for Dwayne, and I'll talk to him about the windows and stuff. So
Okay, and whatever you find out, let us know, and we'll have it on agenda.
So,
for next month.
is it true nobody's living there?
I don't think anybody's living there. His grandson was living there for a while. So, but I don't know that he's living there anymore. I don't see him coming or going, but I can't always see that bottom driveway. And he used to park his Mustang in that bottom driveway, in that bottom garage. So.
Whatever.
They're doing a pretty good job of taking care of the plants and everything outside. So it's not a heavy lift, right?
Yeah.
It should be, we should be able to handle that non-confrontationally.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so we'll start with Ryan's communication and see what he reports back.
Okay.
Okay, going back to our agenda for opening the new accounts. So, says Mary Scott and I, we went to Community America. We've got the new accounts open, and Mary's going to start moving our direct deposits over there.
Oh, and I have good news. So I got the accounts today. I didn't expect them at all. They FedExed them free of charge. And so now I can start moving stuff. And I've already been depositing over there from people. So I have deposited there in April. But yeah, I was very surprised and was not expecting that. And but I use checks in the mail, and they're always just great. They FedExed them, and when I was talking to the lady, I kept telling her, "Look, I can only spend $50, so like And she said, well, then let's just do regular shipping. And I said, okay, well, we're close, but we're not under $50. And she's like, oh, you know what? Let me give you another discount on a special we have. She gave me another discount, or put it down to $44, and that's when I wrote the checks.
Way to go. Way to get us that discount. Thank you.
Oh, they're so nice. I have to call to get business checks. They don't do business checks over the, on their website. So you have to call. And she was very, very nice.
Next on our agenda, we've been talking about speed bumps and where we might need them. And that was tied to road work. It sounds like we don't have any road resurfacing at this point. So if anyone thinks we need to do a special project just to put speed bumps in a couple places, we can definitely talk about that.
Has anybody asked for one?
Josh did.
Because those speed humps, once people realize they're not that bad, they go over them pretty quickly.
Okay.
So that's the only place I'm aware of that if we were to put in new speed bumps, that would be it. But it would be nice if we had some other work to do other than that.
Well, true.
Yeah. If we were going to put one in, we might think about replacing the one that used to be in front of my house, because people still fly through there. Of course, you'd think the one that's in front of the house just 2 doors down from me would jar their teeth loose, but they don't even slow down for that one. You hear them all the time.
Okay, so if anyone hears, if anyone's getting work done in the neighborhood that we could tie into to just get 2 speed bumps in, kind of be aware of that. Any asphalt work that anyone's aware of, but it's kind of too small for us to go with the folks who have gone with for resurfacing, as far as I know.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're good for a year, Peter.
Okay. So election results, we've got that on there. We've got our existing and Ryan on the board. There, I have, as a kind of tangent, a comment from my wife and daughter that there are now no women on the board. It's a, quote, guys club now. So, Mary, you're going to have to keep us in line. As
Tell them they can run. Tell them they can run to the board.
I did. Okay. Okay, so that was my comment. Moving on to new business. Mary's got the note about the with Menards that we have a tax-free account with them, and it is just a sheet with the barcode that you take in when you're getting something for the village to have it be tax-free. Mary, any other comments on that?
No, I sent you one, but if anybody ends up, going into Menards to, like you go by pothole filter and stuff like that. So just let me know and I'll shoot it to you in an email. And so when you pay for it, you just scan that barcode and we're taken care of.
Okay. So the next thing I have on there, since Rhonda has done such good work for such a long time, I wanted some way for the village board to thank her. So Scott, would she like flowers or a plant or chocolates? What would it be a good way we can thank her for everything she's done for us?
To be honest with you, she'd probably just like a personal phone call. If somebody called her up and said, hey, thanks for your help.
Okay, I mean, and I can definitely do that. I was just thinking a little something special.
Flowers would be nice.
Okay, so the thought is, I mean, and that we approve an amount. So, Mary, what do you think? Can we get a good bouquet for under 50?
It's going to be close. For something really nice, it's going to be more like 60.
I got to tell you, Scott, does she like fruit and stuff?
Does she like what?
Does she like fruit and strawberries and things like that?
No, guys, you
No.
really, she's okay. I mean,
I was gonna say, have you ever seen those edible bouquets? They're fantastic.
oh, I mean, a box of chocolates, I mean, you really don't need to send anything. She's very grateful for the opportunity. She's on 2 or 3 different boards for the police department and community service stuff. So she was overtaxed anyway. So,
You need a break anyway.
Yeah, I mean, a nice email or a box of chocolates or something is more than what you would expect.
Does she like plants? Do you guys have plants in the house?
No, I do the plants.
Okay.
Look, I mean, if you guys just want to buy her a box of chocolates from Stover's or something for $25, he would love that.
Okay, and that's under our 50.
It's more the thought than anything.
Right. Okay, so we'll do a little something. Just want to let everybody know we'll do something under $50, and then we'll just have it on our next month budget.
Okay.
Okay, now, so this next thing, as you see, that I've kind of been informally tracking the amount of hours that our village clerk puts in for us. And basically what we have kind of done to the contractor, and we kind of guesstimated 10 hours per month, $25 per hour. And Mary has not complained or said anything, but informally I see she's doing more than 10 hours.
Yeah, there's been a couple of months.
Are you more than 12? Honestly, Mary.
It kind of averages out. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of months where we did a whole bunch of stuff, and then especially with letters and the things like that. And then I'll be doing a little bit more as I try to get all this stuff, transferred over to our new accounts. So it kind of averages out, if you will. I would probably say 12 hours probably is more the average, but it's kind of, I'm fine with it. I do it evenings, I do it weekends. Yeah, I mean, some weekends, Peter will tell you, we really spend some time on weekends sometimes.
And additionally, what you guys don't know is all of the documentation that we have that is under the Google folder structure, the Google Drive. She's been going through, we've got decades of information, and as she gets a chance, she's also trying to organize that into figure out what we need to keep, don't need to keep, and put in someplace that makes sense to find. So that's additional work that she's been doing.
I don't think any of us are going to disagree with giving her the extra check for the agenda.
Okay, then can I get a motion, please?
I motion that we do that for our spectacular clerk.
Ryan Hicks, I second that.
Thank you very much, guys.
Where's I getting officially at? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say the same. Hearing none, motion approved. So henceforth, the village clerk rate will be $300 a month. And like we have done for Sunshine Law, the hourly rate is staying the same. So if there's anything she needs to do, it's still going to be $25 per hour. And heaven forbid, Mary has to move on. Whoever that next person would be, we tell them it's anticipate 12 hours a month.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, Mary. So don't even think it.
Okay, no, I'm not planning on it. I mean, it's worked out pretty good. I really enjoy working with you guys. So,
well, thank you. You're pretty much appreciated.
Well, thank you. And I've learned a lot. I like being in a position where I learn new things, and I've just learned a lot by working with all of you. So I really appreciate it.
Okay, and then I had with Community America, the last thing I have, and then we'll open up for any other new business. Now that we have a debit card, we really didn't have a debit card before, so this kind of changes how we can pay for things. And I put a couple examples in there that we were able to set up PayPal, and we were using that for street signs and for our website. now with the debit card, we can use that to pay for the same things, but it's a little more straightforward. We're not using PayPal as an intermediate. We're actually using something that's tied to our account.
I think it's better in the long run.
So Peter, they asked me if I wanted a debit card and I said no.
Right. So right now, Mary's the only one who's got a debit card.
I think that, I mean, and I did it for fiscal transparency.
Mhm.
I don't want to be like, so if somebody goes, hey, who put $300 at 54th Street Grill on debit card? I want to be able to say, I don't have one.
Same for me. I couldn't think of what I have a need for. So, and the fact that we've got the debit card, so let's say we had to get some pothole filler from Menards, that now it could all be ordered online and use that debit card.
Yeah, okay, so Mary's the only one with a debit card, so we all agree that's our safest way to go.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
And it was agreed that, like, the same thing where, like, if I'm to whatever, my personal limit is $50 unless the board approves it. So that has not changed.
And hopefully make it more convenient. So if she needs to get stamps under $50, doesn't have to write a check and just use a debit card.
Right.
Excellent.
So all the same structure we had before, but now we've got a little more flexibility about how do we pay for these things. So that's one of the other advantages that we have moving to Community America. Okay, I'm opening up the floor. Any other new business? I'll go down the hit. Ryan, you got anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Terry?
Nope. I'm like Ryan. I'm good.
Scott?
No, sir, El Comandante.
John?
I think everything's fine in the village.
Okay, and for our village residents who are attending, do you guys have anything?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I show the time as 7:40. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good having you back, Ryan.
Thanks. I like being back, I think.
I have to figure out things to keep everybody busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Out
right.
of trouble.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Everybody take care. Good night.
Okay.
Thanks.